What up, party people? It's your boy RizzyBeats. I've got a show with Let's Dance, Fort Lauderdale Records on June 13th. That's Saturday, next Saturday. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, because this is our third year doing it, I wanted to talk a little bit about how that came about. So I was wanting to do an 80s night, and I had ambitions of it being like, the quintessential 80s night. And I was like, thinking about all the things that could make it like a big spectacle. And I was like, all right, like I know doing it all vinyl would be really cool and really attractive. So it's like, all right, we can do that. But then I was, started looking at my collection and stuff, and I was like, what I have for 80s skews, like not one genre, but it's one side of the 80s. It's like incomplete. So I started thinking, I was like, it'd be cool to add somebody to this too. And then I started thinking, like, people that can do vinyl and people that I would want to work with. And I thought of James from Fort Lauderdale Records. And I was like, I feel like just knowing him and knowing the collection of records he has, I was like, he probably, everything I lack in my collection, he probably has. So it's like between us, we can cover the entire gamut of, the 80s. I have a lot of the funk and soul and R&B and like boogie and all that kind of stuff. And he's going to have a lot of the new wave and the, and the rock stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then we meet together on the pop. So I was like, there's no two better people, I think, suited to cover the entire gamut of the 80s in a single night than us. So I was like, especially on vinyl, because I'd seen his collection and stuff, and I'd seen him out playing and stuff before. So I was like, between us, like, he's gonna have all these like kind of indie rock dance joints and all that kind of stuff, like those late 80s kind of joints. So it's like, then I'm gonna have like the boogie and the synth funk and the freestyle, and then all the pop records we're gonna just have just because we're fans of music. So it's like, and then I was like, I'd always had this ambition of doing like, because I don't like the back-to-back thing, like side by side, like that's cool, but like I was like, man, it'd be cool to do face to face. I feel like I would call it Battleship style, like like you're playing like the game Battleship. I was like, if we set up our turntables facing each other, I think that would be a really cool visual. So I was like, man, if we could do that and like incorporate all these things, like I think it'd be really cool. A cool visual, like we would execute, and it would just be a good time. So so then I called up James and I was like, hey, like I pitched him the idea, basically what I just said. And he was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Then we hit it off. And what I didn't count on, because we hadn't worked together before. I'd seen James, DJ a few times. I think he'd seen me a few times or whatever. And then, we start thinking like, because I think I hit him up in March or something like that. And we start thinking about what the show is going to look like. Maybe it was April. We start thinking about what it's going to look like. So we're having a lot of correspondence and stuff. And then I quickly realized, and I think both of us did, that like we're on the same page as far as like committing to the bit kind of thing. Like he wants, I want to take it there. He wants to take it there. And I think, we meet together on the execution of it. So it's like neither of us is doing more than the other. Like some group project type shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing a lot and he's meeting me there. So it's like, this is a great relationship. Cause then, we take it another step. Like he wants to add an 808 to it. He has an actual 808 and, the drum machine. And I was like, that'd be crazy. And so I was like, all right, well, shit, dog, let's do it. And then, we were rehearsing songs and stuff to beat match with the 808 so we could do that. And then I just quickly realized, like, we're on the same page, like with as far as our mentality on what makes a good DJ set, or what makes a good show, and like really committing to the idea of it and trying to execute that as good as possible. So yeah, so when I called him, I was like, yo, pretty much pitched him the idea, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then yeah, we've been doing it. This will be our 3rd year. So yeah, June 13th, Saturday night, Underfront, which has been a good home for both of us. Super supportive and just backing us the whole way and supporting all of our ideas. Like, yeah, it's a great place, good people to give your money to, you know what I mean? So yeah, June 13th, that is a Saturday, that is next Saturday, and that is at 8 o'clock at Underfront. Come see us. We're going all in. Each of us have only been buying more records since then, so it's just it's gonna be a good time. So make sure you come out and and dance. Come on, you guys love 80s music, so come on out and dance. Alrighty, RizzyBeats signing off.